Hello. What I'm going to do in this tutorial is demonstrate a way to access content from other installed plugins without actually having to make that plugin a requirement for yours. You can basically just use scripts to find those items and use them within your mod. So kind of the way I've used these in the past is I've used them in some of my own mods. So in Thorville, if you have a certain outfit mod installed, Nigel Healy Hutchinson will wear a different outfit. He wears Tenpenny's outfit from the classic outfit packs. Or if you have Nuka World, you can use this for the DLCs as well. If you have Nuka World installed, Ms. Mackenzie wears a different kind of suits from Nuka World. So you can basically include content either from other plugins that you've got installed or from the DLCs without actually having to make that a requirement. You can't actually like place these things in the world, so I can't use physical objects like a chair or something like that. Maybe you could, but with this tutorial, I'm not dealing with anything like that. I'm dealing with how to access things like outfits, armor, misc objects, potions, things like that. How to just grab them via scripts. So first things first, I'm going to have to make a quest to control handling this process. So I'm going to right click, new, create a new quest. I'm going to call it tutorial underscore um, extra content quest. Don't need to give it a name or priority. Start game enabled is flagged by default, so this will automatically begin once the player begins playing with your mod installed. And then we can go to the quest that we just made, extra content quest. Jump over to the scripts tab and we're going to add this new script. So I'm going to hit new script, okay, and we're going to have to just give it a name. So tutorial underscore extra content script, okay, and cancel. Right click, edit source, because I'm going to add the properties manually. So the first thing we're going to want to decide is what exactly it is that we want to access from another file. So for purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to access the Aquapura entry from my David Hunter mod. So we're going to need to create a property to hold the reference to that Aquapura. So I'm going to go give it a potion property because water is considered to be it's considered to be a potion in this game. And give it any name you want. So I'm going to call it D Hunter Water because it's coming from my David Hunter mod. Auto, and we're going to want to make it conditional because we're going to be changing it with the script. Make sure I haven't typoed any of that. Next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create a property that is going to point to our plugin. So we're going to just type in string SD Hunter. Again, we can call this whatever we want, but because this is slightly different to a standard property, I usually stick an S in front of it so it indicates to myself that this is a string, and write SD Hunter there equals. Then we're going to put the inverted commas, and this is going to have to be the exact name of the plugin that we're accessing. So in this case, it is BOS story.esp. If it was a master file we were accessing, we'd write ESM, and we're going to make that a constant because we're not going to want to edit that in any sense. So now we're going to need to find a way to effectively reach into that plugin and access the file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an event on quest init, which means when this quest initializes, when it begins, when it starts running, this event is going to run. And I'm going to use the, first of all, game.is plugin installed. So this is going to, we need to put if in front of this, and just write that in. If game.is plugin installed, so this is a function to check if this particular plugin is installed. Then we're going to get the variable that points to our thing, which in this case is SD Hunter. As I said, this can be called anything you want, but that's just the naming convention that I usually use. So now we're going to tell the game what we want to do if it is installed. So if it is installed, we can look inside and go D Hunter water equals game.get form from file. And now we're going to have to know the unique ID of our actual item. So we're going to need to know the actual form ID, not just the editor ID, but you might type in the actual ID that's sort of generated by the game. So what I have is I actually have Fallout 4 Edit open on my other screen so that I can see what the ID is. So first of all, we're going to want to write 0x, and then we're going to put in the ID as it's displayed in Fallout 4 Edit. 0, 1, 0, 3, 2, D1E. So that is the form ID of the object, not the editor ID, which the editor ID is the editor ID that I gave it, D Hunter Water. The actual ID that it's created for itself is this form ID, this sort of combination of letters and numbers. And then we're just going to write afterwards as potion, because we need to tell it the script what type of object it is. End if end event. After this, I actually need to point to the plugin that we want. So I haven't told the script what file it wants to be getting it from. I've just said get form. I've just put the form. I haven't put the file. The file is SD Hunter, this string that we've created here. That's a problem. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Once you've got access to this potion, probably once this property has been set, you can do anything you want with it. So maybe you want to add it to a leveled list. I've got a tutorial on how to do leveled list injection. That's a good example of where that might come in handy. But basically what this script is doing is once request is initialized, it is checking if we have the SD Hunter plugin installed, and we have told the script that the SD Hunter plugin equals is bosstory.asp. So then it will take this property that is empty, and it will set it to this form from this file as potion, and it will basically make that into a property that we can access. So it's going to be a little difficult for me to actually show you this working because it's not really doing anything specific. All it's doing is reaching me, is assigning the property. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the game and I'm going to demonstrate how this value, which currently says none, is actually going to have a value because of a script. And I'm just going to use a console to do that. I'm just going to do it via console commands. So I'll just go into the game and show you. Alright, so here we are in the world. It should now, because I've got the mod installed, have already run that script in the background. So I'm going to show quest variables. The name of my quest was tutorial underscore extra content quest, I think. And there we go. D Hunter Water. So this 7E part is the prefix. So every model have a prefix based on its position in your load order. That is less relevant for, obviously, as you can see, I didn't put that in. That's just can pull that automatically. But that is the form ID that I put in, 03 2D 1E, and it has filled that form now, that property. So now we can do stuff with that property if you wanted. You could add it to form list, you could add it to an NPC's inventory, you could add it to leveled items. Lots of different stuff you can do once you've grabbed a property from that plugin file. So that's everything. Hopefully that was clear, hopefully that was useful. My plan going forward is to try and do a tutorial every Tuesday, turn it into Tutorial Tuesdays. I thought that sounded quite good. So if anybody's got any suggestions or requests, chuck them in the comments. I'll do my best to accommodate them. So yeah, thankfully, hopefully that was useful, hopefully that was interesting and clear. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.